I've had already 3 coffees this morning and it's only 8:30. I am so excited. Hi guys, my name is Fabio Palvelli. I'm a designer and every week I share my life on video as well as tips and tricks on how to be a better designer. So if you're new here, please do consider subscribing. So this video is addressed to clients. If you're an artist, feel free to send this to your clients. It might be very beneficial for both of you. I've had this idea in the pipeline for a while now to make a video about how clients should communicate with creative people. Last week, by chance, walking into a bookshop in Amsterdam, I found this book from Bonnie Siegler called Dear Client, this book will teach you how to get what you want from creative people. Sincerely, Bonnie Siegler. Not a sponsored message. The book is an easy read with 60+ tips on how clients should communicate with creative people. It only costs about $16 and I can warmly recommend it. When I saw it, I said to myself, okay, this is a sign I got to make this video. If you want to support her, get this book, it's worth it, I promise. Okay, so let's get to this week's video.
A designer, a teacher, and a friend. His show will make you laugh and entertain you to the end. He shares his life on video for you to get inspired. He doesn't take himself too serious, so just subscribe. Love pizza, love dolls, and love Nutella. Fabio will take you around with him and show you how La Vita è Bella. Hey.
In the past few months, I have focused so much on trying to explain how artists should do their job that I've completely omitted the other side of the story. What could clients do in order to get the best out of the creative people that they hire? Even though I sometimes make fun of the dynamics between clients and artists, I actually don't really like these rather negative, monodirectional bias views that artists and clients often have of each other. Truth is, clients need artists as much as artists need clients. So once and for all, let's settle this. Clients, that's how you get what you want from creative people. Tip number 1, be honest. Be honest about budgets, be honest about deadlines, be honest about your goals, be honest about your schedule. The more you share with us about your intentions, the better we can consult you about finding a solution to your problem. There is nothing worse than to receive a design brief that needs to be solved, say, tomorrow morning, to then find out that the project is due the week after. Only because you, client, wanted to have a quick idea of how the project could look like before making any further decisions. A lot of clients are so afraid to be screwed over by designers so that they end up hiding their real scope of work, thinking that we want to take advantage of them, when in reality, more often than not, it's actually the opposite. Truth is, designers are wired differently from business people. Most of us would even work for free in order to see our projects be successful. With that, I'm not suggesting you shouldn't pay your artists, nor their artists should work for free, but I am saying that clients should have more trust in the designers. That would allow designers to trust you, clients, more in return. Tip number 2, research and learn to know yourself. Working with artists is a bit like going to a restaurant. If you go to a fish restaurant, the choice of meat will be very limited and most likely you will not find pizza there. Why do I always end up making comparisons with food? That's why I'm so fat. As a client, you should research the type of artist you want to hire for the type of job that you need. A guy that does a specific typography work will do that better than page layout, for example. Or a cartoonist will probably make caricatures better than portraits. Or an architect specializing in sustainable buildings might not be necessarily the best at designing a gym. Your job as a client is to first of all define the type of work you're after. This will also help you understanding who you are as a person and what would you like the most for yourself. Afterwards, you should identify the designers that make that type of work and try to work with them directly. Or in case you cannot, you should try to find the closest option available. This might sound like a lot of work, but if you get this part right, the rest of the process will be smooth as silk. Silk, butter, whatever you like better. I love butter. Tip number 3, cheap, fast and good cannot coexist. Put that in your mind. My suggestion is pick 2 and let's hope for the best. Tip number 4, try to quickly get an idea of who your artist is. You as a client can almost completely rely on word of mouth referrals, but if you're approaching a creative company specifically for the first time and via the web, make sure that you interview them before starting working with them. Do that possibly in person or via Skype at least. Make sure they exist in the way they say they do. There are a lot of fakes out there, people stealing other people's work to attract potential clients, saying that they have a huge company, I don't know, saying in New York, when actually they might be a one-person show from the island of nowhere. You find a lot of them, especially if you go on sites like Fiverr or the likes. Tip number 5, put one person in charge for making decisions. This is what project managers are for. When you get started on a project, appoint a person and let the communication between your team and the designers you hire go through that one person only. This way you can control the process better and you can hold someone accountable for eventual internal mistakes. Each change commissioned to your artists can require hours if not days of work. So just because your marketing guy has this brilliant idea to try and see how the picture looks like if we moved all the people in your rendering, say, to the left, it doesn't mean that they can just take the initiative to write your artist an email and say, do that. This might sound crazy to you, but believe me, it happens more often than it should. Also, when giving feedback about the work, take your time, sit down, gather your team, write down all your ideas, and then write one single email with all the feedback at once. There is nothing more frustrating than to receive 3 separate emails where you guys change your mind 3 times by your design decisions. This type of interaction between clients and designers just kills the mood and drains our battery. Make up your mind, take the time to make the right decision, stick to them and give feedback at once. Thank you. Tip number 6. Describe the problem, not the solution. When approaching a creative, especially for a new collaboration, do not ask them to produce a specific solution. That's not what you pay us for. Tell us what the problem is. Give us all the information possible and let us come up with something. Yes, you might think this is how we always done it and this is how we want it, and there are some cases where you absolutely need to get the design solution the closest possible to what you have been making in the past. We understand that, but we also want you to understand that it is our job to try and innovate. The problem is, innovation does not happen overnight. And if you as a client are trying to innovate, you should give us a chance and the time to try new things. In the last workshop I took with Chris Do in Milan, he told us about the story of the Nike logo and how it took that logo almost 30 years to become recognized for its emblematic character. With that said, you realize that it's almost impossible for us to design something that is going to make an impact if you do not give yourself time to get used to it. I know it is a bit of a paradox, but it is the way our brains work. And this brings us to the next point. Tip number 7. Expect the unexpected. Your vision might never be realized 100%. Because your vision really only exists in your mind. Acknowledge the fact that we try to get there and be open to things that do not match your expectations 100%. Creatives tend to imagine things that were not imagined before, thus pushing the boundaries of what clients might consider ordinary. Clients expect the ordinary because it gives them comfort and security. Take a bit of time to respond to a design solution that we provide you. You might not like it at first, but it doesn't mean that you won't like it at all. Don't be impulsive and give it time. And this brings us to the next point. Tip number 8. I don't know why, but I don't like it. If you don't know what the problem is, chances are you're just insecure about the design, and this has very little to do with the design itself. I know it might sound confusing, but bear with me. If you cannot address the issue, learn to live with it. Seriously, it's okay to like a design at first sight. In fact, designers would not make a project that they would not be happy with. Even if you were to give them all the wrongest instruction possible, they will still try to make the best out of what you said. Reworking a project just because of minor insecurities, especially if under a deadline, can have very negative impact on the design itself. Accept that, learn to move on, and maybe next time listen to your designers during the initial consultation stage. If you do not get consulted by your designers in the beginning of a project, this is a red flag. Try finding someone better. Our job is not to execute, we consult you. Tip number 9. Finding a good designer is like finding a good friend. In case you do find someone who serves you well, try and cherish this professional relationship. Care for one another and try to understand that your success as a company is our success as designers. If you grow, we will want to grow with you and we will go the extra mile to support you. You can rely on that. Last but not least, tip number 10. Give credits. Promote your designers and be proud of them. Use social media to promote the projects you have realized working together with your creative team. Tell others what your designers did for you and how great they were. Designers will not hesitate to do the same for you. This will help a lot the image of your firm. More people will be interested in the type of work you do, more people will want to work for you, with you. At the end of the day, you will only benefit from this. You gotta trust me. I really hope you're gonna find these tips useful. I wanna thank once again Bonnie Siegler for this wonderful book and inspiration. Go get it, it's only $16. I really hope you enjoyed this video. My name is Fabio Palvelli. Thanks a lot for watching.